Hey there. I'm going to demonstrate two form drills that I think the Pro Pull is really well designed for. So I'm going to call the first one the power position drill, and the second one just a typical forehand drill. So the Pro Pull basically is a disc that has a rubber band attached to it. If you don't have one of these, you can definitely just use a rubber tubing. It does not have to have a disc attached to it. I just like this because it really simulates the feeling of the pull, and I can kind of get a good grip at the same time. So the power position, if you slow motion any power thrower, you'll notice that as they come through, this knee drops in as they shift their weight over. This left hand comes really close to the body as they bring themselves into this 90-degree position with their elbow, and everything is braced up, ready to rotate off of that hip, and everything is tightly coiled just to promote a lot of fast rotation. So we like this nice tight coiled position. This is the power position, as I call it. Taking the Pro Pull, I have the green band on here. I'm going to get myself in a slightly offset position. I have a little bit of tension on here so I can feel it pull through. So first thing I'm going to think about is allowing this to take me into a little bit of a reach back. I don't want to get off balance, but a little bit of a reach back. I'm going to shift my weight onto that lead leg. As I shift my weight, I want to feel the weight come off of this side as it turns in a little bit to get my weight over to my right side. I want my offhand to start to come in really close to my body. So in this position, there's resistance on the band. Band is held kind of into my chest here a little bit. From here, if I hold this for about 10 seconds, I actually feel my hip light up on this side. So that's the first part of the drill, is I want to really feel my lead hip just activate. Second part, I want to start to get just a little bit of rotation through my right hip. So I'm concentrating on using my chest to lead and move my disc. So the purpose of this part is to really just feel my hip light up. I'm trying to activate my glute in this position to give me a little more stability. So after a 10-second hold, I do 10 slight rotations. Again, this rotation is occurring through my hip. This disc stays stationary. Third part is hip stays stationary. Now I just work on pulling through. And again, this pulling through motion really is only to throw me off balance on this hip to make it work even harder. So you can see all three of those things that we did was basically just to activate and light up the outside of my hip to give me a little more plant power and rotation as I throw. So breaking down a forehand throw is really great to use the Pro Pull for. We can get into a reach back position for a stretch and a hold. We can get into a little bit of a wrist cock to work on my forearm flexors. We come into a half position, same thing with wrist cock, and a release position, same thing. So I'll demonstrate that. So in slow motion, I'm gonna pretend I'm throwing a forehand. I'm going to step forward, turn my body. So as I step forward, you can see this is pulling me into external rotation of my shoulder, and I actually feel a subtle stretch here. So some of us may be limited in how much rotation we have, which is definitely gonna limit how much power I can impart on the disc. So sometimes just hanging out here, if it feels comfortable on my shoulder. Also, I can actually work on a little bit of wrist strength by giving a little bit of a pop, flexion extension of the wrist here. So I might hold for 10 seconds in a stretch position, followed by 10 wrist throws of the disc. From here, I start to move into a mid position of the throw. Again, 10-second hold, followed by 10 wrist throws, and then finally getting into a full extension, 10-second hold, followed by 10 wrist throws. After that, if you're able to do a throw, I think you're gonna notice that you're able to plant on that leg a little bit easier. You're gonna feel more stable. You're gonna feel actually stronger when you release. Same thing with a forehand. You're gonna feel like you have better reach back and better pop when you come through. Give that a try. Hopefully that'll help you to throw well.